All right. I'll record the last half of it, or maybe I'll repeat it at the end. So back to my example. When she was 17, period, because her older sister lived there and she was influenced by her sister. That has a subject, sister. It has a verb, lived. But it also has because. And if it's not part of a sentence, there's nothing for the because to link to. So if I just said, because you're an amazingly bright woman, Sienna, you would say, yeah. Because I am, you're going to give me an A. Because I am, you resent me because I know more than you do. Whatever, okay? So because can't be by itself. And that's what fragments are. So sometimes they have the components of a sentence, a subject and a verb, but they also have some extra words. Although Andrew's a nice guy, Andrew's waiting for the, the punchline. I'm still gonna flunk him because I don't like guys in purple shirts or whatever, okay? But although Andrew's a nice guy,
Maroon.
What?
It's maroon, but sure.
All right, on my screen it's purple. But you get the idea, okay? So as far as, let me see if I can find, well, I'm not gonna go looking for it. I don't wanna waste your time. So now let's see if I can, all right, stop sharing screen. Let's go to the first example here. I hope you can see this because it's gonna be a total waste of time if you cannot. I took 2 essays, 2 of the free speech memos, and printed them out, and I marked them up as if I were seeing you in a face-to-face class. So it's my scribbling on them, but I just wanted you to see what it might look like. So I'm going to try to share this. And do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And it has little squiggles all over it. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is, this was supposed to be a memo from the president of the college, you as the president. So I hoped, it's not critical, I hoped you would figure out it should be in the form of a memo from Andrew Cruz, president of Camden County College, to, all the campus, blah, 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 date and a reference. All right, so this has a title, Freedom of Speech on Campus. That's a label. It doesn't tell me how this person, if it said, we will do everything in our power to preserve free speech on campus, or free speech on campus will never be imperiled or something, then I would have a headline that might make me want to read it, okay? This just jumps right in then. It says free speech is a First Amendment right that everyone has the privilege of using. Okay, great. I don't care. This is Andrew, this is not Andrew's paper, but this is the person we're pretending is Andrew saying, okay, I'm the president, I'm gonna tell you some stuff. So you gotta tell me why you're writing it. You follow me? Just to start to talk about freedom of speech and what a wonderful privilege it is, that's great. But we're putting it in the context of what are we gonna do on the Camden County College campus? That's why you, as the putative president, are writing this. So to start opining about, freedom of speech misses the point. Tell me why we're doing this. Remember, nobody's waiting to read this crap that you're writing. They need you to spell it out for them. So, free speech is a First Amendment right that everyone has the privilege of using. All right, we would want to capitalize First Amendment, but that's not important. Despite the idiocy that comes out of people's mouths at times, freedom of speech should still be permitted on campus. All right, I kind of like that. It's a little argumentative in terms of the word idiocy, but it's okay, it got my attention. It's important to use the voices that we were all given and especially use it for a good cause. It's important to use the voices and use them for a good cause, all right? Conversations are what separate the wise from the degenerates. All right, that's interesting. You can tell a lot about someone when you have a real connection with them. Someone is singular. Them is a plural pronoun. They don't go together. You can tell a lot about people when you have real conversations with them. That would work, okay? And then I put And here we have a fragment, such as their attitudes, feelings, and opinions on many topics, including controversial ones. That's not a sentence. So I put a dash after them and made it part of the preceding sentence. And a comma after topics, because when you're, there are many things I like about Andrew, comma, including his maroon shirt, you know, whatever. I think we need a new paragraph here. Differences are what make the world go round or around. The real danger comes when you are silenced. We've gone from talking in the third person about someone to the second person, you, and then we get down in the next paragraph and we start saying we, which is the first person plural. We've jumped around in terms of person. Do you understand the concept of person? First person, I. Second person, you. Third person, he, she, or it. First person plural, we. Second person plural, also you. So you is singular and plural. Third person plural, they, them, whatever. Did it seem terrible? This person jumped through all three persons in one 2-paragraph essay. Not terrible, but this is the kind of crap that you're going to be tested on when you take the departmental test around Thanksgiving. If you did this or you didn't get this right, then you lose points. Remember, this is much more about how you use the language and how you understand the rules than it is about what you have to say. Sienna still gets to say that her dog is the best dog ever. Only through the end of this semester, then people will start to question her. All right, hate speech is real and should not be voiced. Okay, it's hurtful towards other people. Is it towards or toward? I'll let you figure that out. And outright unnecessary. Outright is one word. And this is a little bit conversational in tone, outright unnecessary, but better to be more conversational than to be more hoity-toity, highfalutin, and not faking it very well. That is why it's important to be careful that what we say and how we say it. So we're into the second person plural, not first person plural, because we don't know how it will affect others around us. Quote, if you don't have anything nice to say, it shouldn't be said at all, close quote. Okay, that normally would be attributed to somebody because it's a quote, but it's such a truism that I think you get away without attributing it here. But we need a new paragraph on freedom of speech. We need a new paragraph every time we're changing the thought. And if you're sitting there saying, well, wait a minute, this is all about freedom of speech, we're not changing the thought. No, in the context of what we're saying about freedom of speech, we are changing, okay? We're going from, how it might be hurtful to other people to how it's a way to educate other people. That's a different kind of thought. So it's a new paragraph. If we hear someone make an ignorant statement, it can be talked about and corrected. Being on a college campus, we are at the age where we should know right from wrong, but common sense isn't always common. That's not an original line, but it wasn't a bad line. Everyone has a voice that should be used for the greater good of society and should respectfully exercise their right. Again, we have everyone and their doesn't work. All people have a voice that should be used for the greater good of society and should respectfully exercise their birthright, to speak up. I think this needs a concluding paragraph if it were really a memo. So for these reasons, because I'm the president of Camden County College, here are the rules. So this is a nice little, I guess, exposition of, freedom of speech and, why it's important. It didn't really get into some of the things in 102, which is, okay, freedom of speech is a right. Every right has a responsibility. And I think you have to look at it from that point of view. I put good down here because the person followed the rules, gave me a word count and gave me a readability score. Okay, so we're going to stop sharing on that. And we're going to try to go to this one. So let's see. Try to share again. And I hope this is, no, that's not right. Let's see if this is it. No, that's what we just did. Okay. Sorry. So screen sharing is stopped. It's closed. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Do you guys have a lot of Zoom classes, a lot of classes online, a lot of, I mean, are you tired of Zooming already?
No.
No, not really.
Okay. How do you have it? We use the term now synchronous and asynchronous. Asynchronous meaning we never have to be in the same place at the same time, and I can't force you to be online. Synchronous meaning it's Tuesday at 3:30, you will be online, or it'll be like not showing up for class. Do you have any synchronous classes where you have to be online at a certain time?
No.
And how many asynchronous classes do you have where you can just do whatever the hell you want, like now? Andrew? 4. Rebecca? I can't hear you. Thank God you're muted. How many, Rebecca? Just hold up your fingers. 1. Sienna?
Pretty much all of them.
But how many is all of them?
4.
Okay. So Andrew and Rebecca, and I'm sorry, Andrew and Sienna, tell me what the instructors you have in those classes are doing in terms of utilizing the various pieces of this technology that is good, or that you find engaging or not boring or whatever. School me.
I only have your class. Did mine come out now? Can you hear me now?
Unfortunately, I can, yes.
I figured it out, Mike.
I'm
But
sitting
I only have yours. So that's it.
and I know that you love my class, so you know you
I
don't.
do.
But Andrew,
There's only one other instructor that does a Zoom meeting, and there's nothing special about his Zooming abilities or his instruction.
no, like we could do polls, we could show videos. I'm not sure that works for this class, but so Sienna, anything that the people you have for those classes are doing that you think shows some sophistication in terms of how they're using the tools?
No, majority of my classes, they just tell us to read and then do an assignment. But my history teacher, he records like his audio lectures.
I don't know enough to lecture. If I knew stuff, I would lecture, but I don't know anything. So we have to adopt some other approach to this. So let me see if I can find the last thing I wanted to put up there. Oh, where did it go? Damn. Well, I'm feeling even more incompetent than usual. Could this be it? No, that's not it. That's what I just did. All right, so then this has to be it. Come on. Nobody's commenting on my ability to be in the White House and to there.
No, I do have a question for you, Mike, though. Do you receive, because I've emailed you,
Numerous times.
yes, but the syllabus, like how you were saying that you never received it. Do you receive them from Canvas as well? So if I
Yes.
try to do it through there?
Yes,
Okay.
like all these essays that people posted in Canvas are amalgamated, and I can download a whole file of all of the assignment number 2 essays.
Okay.
What helps me is to get some of them also, not as an alternative, but also independently, because
Mhm.
I'm only going to look at the ones that are posted online at the same time. If you three sent me one and you posted it as well, I would be looking at it ahead of time.
Mhm.
And I would therefore have more opinions about it that I could share with you when we have personal meetings, which we will have at least one of, where I'll be saying, Rebecca, you know, you don't understand capital letters,
Mhm.
or you
I
haven't
know it.
a clue about where to put a period or whatever. So why is this not working? Come on. Well, damn. All right. I guess we won't do that. It was actually your paper, Rebecca, so I was looking forward to, you know, saying all kinds of bad things about it.
I know it. I stood there, and Mike, and I'll be honest with you, I was reading some different things, that, like, especially like the first one, like the introduction to you, or answers that I did on the first quiz where I'm like,
Go ahead. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see something now?
Yes.
Okay. So I apologize for interrupting you, Rebecca. I'm sure you were going to like give me a lot of shit and I deserved it. So if you want to finish that thought, then I'm going to go to your paper.
You're muted again.
Who is?
Rebecca is muted.
Unmute yourself, Rebecca. Rebecca, are you there? She's afraid. She bailed. All right. Well, I'm hoping she can see this. So I have the same thought. You can see a couple of paragraphs now, Andrew?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the same thing. We needed to start it as a memo from, to, date, whatever. And actually, I'm hoping she doesn't hear this because she did a pretty good job. So today, due to newscasts and social media, we're all witnesses to what happens when we utilize our First Amendment. No, our First Amendment right of freedom of speech. A lot of stuff in the First Amendment: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of press, freedom of assembly. So I want you, it's not wrong. It's just not as specific as it could be for good. And what happens if driven by hate? No, if we use it in a manner that is driven by hate.
okay.
All right. Freedom of history has helped birth many significant, and I like interesting verbs like birth. Okay. Many significant changes that we benefit from today. However, I think right here we need a new paragraph. Sadly, some educational institutions, we've gone from, you know, this broad social context to something about educational institutions, have unlawfully prohibited this right, while others have designated appropriate times and places to voice one's opinion. That fact, that statement that it's unlawful may in fact be true, but you can't say it. So if you said have you know, constrained this right in a way that many people feel is unlawful or something, but it's not a fact. Okay. I think it's a fact, but that's just my opinion. And my opinion is no more valid than yours. Okay. The administration at these institutions, they aren't facilities. Facilities sounds like a place where you make tuna fish cans or something. Has instilled fear in those who disobey their rules and regulations by promising repercussions and disciplinary actions. We don't need the comma after regulations. I don't know why you put it there. If we were having a personal exchange, I'd have you tell me why, and I'd tell you why you were, in my opinion, wrong. But it's not a big deal. All right. I refuse to plant the seeds of fear and anxiety, which could hinder you. All right. So now we got you. From third person to first person I and second person you.
Okay.
So if you had said, in my role as president of Camden County College, I refuse to plant the seeds which you know, my students and faculty and staff or whatever, that would be better.
Okay.
From expressing yourself on subjects that matter to you most, no, that matter most to you. Put the adjective as close to the verb as possible. So
Okay.
you're telling me matter, and you're giving me an adverb, matter most, so stick them together. Too
Okay.
often in life, we are encouraged to remain silent and bow to rules and regulations instead of standing up for what we believe. Fine. Let us reflect for a moment on the March, and I would have put the year. Was it 1964? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. I know.
Where, maybe not where, maybe in which Martin Luther King made his notorious. No, the worst thing you did here was to use the word notorious in his I Have a Dream speech. Notorious has a definite negative.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
His watershed or his very famous, or there are a lot of things said, but notorious, just think notorious B.I.G. That's not a good thing.
Right. And you know what? What's funny is as I was looking up some of the vocab, I'm like, wow, I really didn't know the true meaning behind certain words, like looking up different angles, like what Google may say as opposed to what Webster says. And so, yeah, I see that now.
Okay. New paragraph. If the people never raise their voices in opposition to the norm, and I like the fact that you put norm in quotes, and instead succumb to fear, would America look the same today? Okay, good. If the women's suffrage movement never took place, would a woman ever eventually have a seat in Congress? I might have changed that. If the women's suffrage movement never took place, would a woman, well, it's not wrong. The whole verb structure is just a tiny bit awkward, but basically you did a good job. I hate to say that because you're going to remember it and you're going to think you don't have to improve. I challenge you to be the change that this nation needs, not part of a movement that causes chaos and destruction. My only request is that you allow the need for change to be your motivation, not hate. Your words are powerful, use them well. Gave me a word count, gave me a readability score. What neither of the two examples that I've shown you did was to tell me what the rules are. So if you had said, therefore, we're going to act like the University of Chicago and anybody can say anything they want. They can't incite to riot, but they can espouse whatever positions they want. They can't do it in a way that impinges on other people's right to privacy or whatever. So yes, you can stand in the middle of the quad and say, Mike Willman's an asshole, or Mike Willman's the greatest thing since sliced bread, all right? But you can't walk into a classroom and do that where somebody's trying to teach trigonometry or whatever. So the idea of safe spaces, you and the other person did not deal with. The idea of trigger warnings, you and the other person did not deal with. And I sort of invited you to do that. It doesn't mean you have to, but so you're writing as the president, you have all this nice stuff, but what does that mean? So you're telling us, faculty, staff, and students, what you want it to mean, okay? So let's see.
My question to you, Mike, when you put the target amount of words,
Yep.
are you looking to aim just at that amount and try not to go over? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Because that's where I kind of cut myself short and I'm like, okay, let me just stop there because it's 250.
No, here's the,
Okay.
if I don't put a target length, then I get asked, well, how many words do we have to write?
Right.
I would say, as many as you need, Rebecca.
Okay.
You would say, well, wait a minute, that's not helpful.
Right, I know.
And you guys are all dumb, because if I say write 200 words, you think, cool. If I say write 2,000, you say, I can't write, I never wrote 2,000 words in my life. You know, it is so much harder to write short and be effective than it is to write long. I used this phrase the last time we had a Zoom call. We call it diarrhea of the keyboard.
Right.
Blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And it makes it difficult to organize. Think about organizing 2,000 words in a way that I'm going to want to read, as opposed to organizing 200 words in a way that I might possibly consider reading. Okay? So that's where we are. So since I screwed up and didn't do the recording at the beginning, I'm going to run through the list at the beginning. Bear with me. I will try to do it quickly. Number one, nobody has to be on these calls. So it is purely optional. I appreciate it when you are. If you haven't sent me a syllabus acknowledgement, do that. If I send you an email, please acknowledge that you got it so I know. For example, I only got 6 people who responded to me about the days of the week and times of the day that were convenient or inconvenient, but they aren't on the call. So
Right.
if you had said, you know, I work 7 shifts every day at Wawa, or I just don't like Zoom calls or something, but I don't know why those people would not be here. I can make an educated guess, but all right. Also, check out the announcements and the messages in Canvas. I typically repeat what I've tried to send you via email. And normally I would ask you to give me, if you wished, your real email as opposed to your college email, because I know that you check your real email all the time. And I know you don't check your college email that often, but we're more and more concerned about people hacking into whatever, so we're not going to do that. I mentioned, if you would please, even when you're putting it, when you're sending me like an essay in the body of an email, please put a header on it. You know, Andrew Cruz, ENG 101 DOL5, October, what is today, 9th, and assignment 47, okay? Everybody who did the welcome quiz, I'm not going to repeat why the welcome quiz was there, but everybody who did it got 100, and you should see that in Canvas now, but you can double check me on that. I wanted to go over quizzes 1, 2, and 3. We got through quiz 1, 2, and 3. I was not, for some reason, able to get up on the screen to share with you, so we didn't go through those, but I read you a couple of examples. We did look at 2 of the assignment 2 free speech things. The shortcoming of both was that it didn't put it in context. It didn't say, I'm doing this because I think we need rules here at Camden County College, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I think about freedom of speech, and therefore here are the rules, okay? I did talk about passing it on for peer review. So I think I used Andrew as an example. The person who comes after him on the distrib list, which is alphabetical, as somebody named Felicia Ector. So Andrew, you're going to send an email to Felicia, and I would suggest you put in the body of the email as opposed to an attachment. Some people are wary of attachments. They think, you know, it's going to have a virus or whatever, which is probably a good thing to be wary of. You're going to send to that person your essay, and I will have preceded that, but they probably won't have read my email, with an instruction which says, when you get something from your classmate, respond. If you want to mark it up, you know, and make a PDF out of it, fine, like I tried to do with the couple we looked at today. If you just want to make a comment, Andrew, this was great. You know, you are the king of, you know, free speech essays or something. Just to force you into not only writing things, but looking at what other people write and trying to help them. By figuring out how you can help them, you will help yourselves, in my opinion. I repeated my invitation that we can always have a personal meeting. We will have at least one where I will be talking to Rebecca, although you guys have to know that Rebecca and I talk about 4 times a day. So far, she has not said a thing to me that was meaningful in any way, but I enjoyed talking to her. You have a very nice smile, Rebecca. That's the saving grace here, okay? Thoughts and words. If I were you, I'd realize I'm going to see those words again and I'd look them up. And as far as thoughts, they're meant to amuse you. Some of them are meant to inspire you in some limited way. They're also meant to be opportunities for extra credit. So you find something that you like, you want to put together a few paragraphs, I will add it to the pile of things which for you will mean that I believe you are making an effort. And trust me, effort matters more to me than achievement. If some school system along the way turned you into a decent writer, God bless them. Most of the people who end up in these classes in college are not decent writers. But if you try, I'm on your side. I will bend over backward. You don't know that, but it happens to be true. Okay. And I think that's it. If I missed something else, do anybody remember if I said anything worthwhile that I did not recap here at the end once I started to record? Rebecca and Sienna are laughing like, you think you said something worthwhile? Oh my God, Mike, what kind of self-delusion is that? All right. We good, Sienna?
Yes.
What's your mom's name?
Christina.
Christina? Tell Christina it was very nice to meet her.
Okay.
Rebecca, I think we should have somebody from your family on the next call so I can see who has to put up with your, you know what. And Andrew, I saw you smile once or twice. I don't know whether that was, I'm hoping that somehow I provoked you to smile at least.
I'm trying to get brownie points here. I gotta do it
That's
somewhere.
it. That's it. That's all you have to do. I'm
Okay.
not looking for sincerity. I'm just looking for, you know, fake it. All right. Okay.
I do have one question.
I'm sorry, Andrew. Too bad. We're done. No, go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. All right. So send assignment off to be graded, or not graded, assessed by a classmate.
Mhm.
Which assignment specifically?
The free speech one,
Okay.
not the introduction, and not the one where I think the third assignment was where I'm trying to get you to do thesis statements. Do you understand what a thesis statement is?
Mhm.
It's the point of your essay.
Yeah.
It's not everything, and it's not an it can be, you can have an essay, a piece of writing that doesn't have an introduction. You can't have one without a thesis statement. All right. If my thesis is Andrew is an idiot, or Andrew is the consummate student, I could start by saying, you know, as a community college writing instructor, you meet a lot of people and blah, 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 and most of them don't know what they're doing. And you're wondering, well, where is this going? But this year, I found the quintessential example of somebody who had been well served by the educational system he came through. I have a student named Andrew Cruz, and he can write his ass off. All right? So that's my thesis, not the thing about blah, 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 blah. Okay? We're going to do a blah, 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 blah exercise later where I'm going to ask you to do introductions, not thesis statements. So here's the thesis. How would you go about leading a reader into this in a way that would make them want to read it? Okay? All right. So did I answer your question, Andrew?
Yes.
Rebecca, I am loath to ask you if you have any questions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, do you have any questions? You're muted again. Your mouth is moving, but you're not muted on my screen.
Is that better now?
There you go.
It
It's not
keeps
better.
switching over.
But hearing you is not better. It's just different.
I know. You're probably like, not again, Rebecca. No, I think my main thing was, I guess, when we were supposed to email our grades, and you know I have difficulty doing that, but just making sure, because I'm seeing that some stuff doesn't get to you as far as emails.
Mhm.
Would it be easier for me, I guess, and anybody that's not coming to you, to email it through the Canvas instead?
You can do it any way you want to. If I
Okay.
were in your shoes, I would say, this guy's an idiot. I'm going to send it to his business email. I'm going to send it to his college faculty email.
And I've done that.
I'm going to put it in Canvas as well. And
Right,
then I
okay.
say, you guys didn't send me syllabus assignments and you acknowledgements, and you all say, yes, we did several times.
Mhm.
You know, at my age, if I could remember your names, even though they're on the screen, you know, that would be like a big accomplishment. So,
Okay.
all right. All right. So you're good.
I believe so. If not, you know I'll be reaching out to you. So.
That's why I love caller ID. Oh, nope, not here. Sienna, you okay?
Yeah.
Sienna, you okay?
Yes, I'm good.
All right. Thank you, guys. You're very indulgent. I appreciate it. And, you know, we'll meet again.
Sounds good.
All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Have a good weekend.
You
You
too.
too.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.